started, sit well for me, please. Please remember to mute your mics. I am recording this, so if your mic is unmuted, I will be recording everything you say. Not recording your body, though.
Especially the cat.
Take a moment to connect to your breath. Take a moment to acknowledge whatever it is you brought with you to the mat tonight. And then join your hands in front of the heart center. Let's begin by chanting the Om together 3 times, followed by the invocation to Patanjali. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Chavaijakena Yopakarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatoshmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakra Siddharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Hari Om. Take another breath in. As you exhale, draw your head down towards your hands. And with your next inhalation, bring your head back up, open your eyes, and let your hands come back to rest on your legs. All right, let's start by warming up the spine. Come onto the hands and the knees. And let's begin with a few rounds of the cat-cow. Inhaling the eyes and the sit bones towards the ceiling. Exhale, navel to spine. Round your back, look back at your knees. Inhale to reverse. Exhale to reverse. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do one more. And then bring your spine back to neutral. Bring your right leg up. Swing it around to the left. Push your toes into the floor. And turn to look over your left shoulder. Good, bring that leg back. Let's do the other side. Left leg up and around to the right. Turning to look over your right shoulder. Good, and then bring that foot back to the mat. Inhale your breath in. Exhale to downward facing dog. Just go ahead and take that dog for a walk. Bend your right knee, pressing your left heel down. Bending your left knee, pressing the right heel down. Let's do that a couple more times. Moving slowly and letting those calf muscles really enjoy that stretch. Good, and then when you're even on both sides, bring both heels back to the mat. And then bring your knees down. And come to child's pose, pressing your hips back towards your heels. Good, and then inhale to come back up onto the knees. And exhale to lower your chest to the mat. Inhale to come back onto the knees. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale up onto the knees. Exhaling to downward facing dog. We're going to do that sequence a few times. Inhaling the knees down. Exhaling the chest down. Inhale back to the knees. Exhale child's pose. Inhale back to the knees. Exhale downward facing dog. Inhale knees down. Exhale chest down. Inhale back to the knees. Exhale child's pose. Inhale back to the knees. And exhale to downward facing dog. We're going to stay in down dog for a few breaths. We're going to shift the shoulders forward and come to plank pose. And from plank pose, we're going to move into side plank. Now you can roll to the outside of the foot, the inside of the other foot, and lift up, or you can let your right knee down, flip your left foot over, and lift your arm up. Whatever you're able to do. If you're kneeling on your right knee, maybe take that left leg up. Good, bring it down, come back to plank pose. And let's go to the other side. Maybe the knee comes down, lifting up through the right arm. Whichever variation you have chosen. Good, bring it down, come back to plank pose. Let your knees down and press your hips back towards your heels, coming off your hands, coming to child's pose. Good, and then inhale to come back up onto your knees. We're going to come to hunting dog pose, so take the right leg up and reach forward through the left arm. Stay connected to your breath. Good, and then bring it down, and let's do the other side. Left leg up, right arm forward. And then bring it down. Inhale your breath. Exhale to downward facing dog. From here, we're going to bring our feet into the hands, coming into forward bend, Uttanasana. Walk your feet into your hands. Now maybe your knees need to be bent a little, or maybe you have blocks you can place your hands on. Making a few deep inhalations here, a few long exhalations. Good, and then bring your hands to your shins, long flat back, look forward. And then bring your hands to your hips and come to stand in mountain pose. Have your feet no more than an inch or so apart. Spread your toes, press down into the feet, lift up through the legs, pin your shoulder blades onto your back. Good, and then inhale to reach up toward the ceiling, look up at your hands. Exhale, bring the arms down, bring your head back to center. Inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, bring the arms down. One more time, just the arms and the breath. Good, coming back to mountain pose. We're going to inhale to reach up toward the ceiling again. Exhale, bring your arms only down to shoulder level as you twist to your right. Or your left. I don't care. Inhale, reaching back up toward the ceiling and exhaling around to the other side. Good, inhaling to reach up. Exhale, bring your arms back down and join your hands behind your back. Inhale to straighten the arms and lift the chest. Exhale to fold forward over the legs. Maybe bend your knees here. Letting your arms come up over your head. So if you have very tight shoulders, a strap works really well here. You can hold the strap between your hands. That gives your shoulders a little more room. Good, coming back part way up. To change the cross of the fingers, straighten the arms again. And then fold over the legs. Good, and then bring your arms onto your back, press into your legs, and come up, reaching all the way up to the ceiling, and then exhale your hands to the heart center. Good, coming back to mountain pose. And let's come to triangle pose to the right. Step your feet wide apart. Turning the right leg out, lift the chest and extend the arms out over the legs. Exhale as you come over to your right. Bring your hand to the floor or your block. Please use your props if you have them and they are helpful to you. Good, and then inhale to come up. Let's go to the other side. Turn the right foot forward and the left leg out. Exhale as you come over. Bringing that left hand to the floor or the block. Stay connected to your breath. And then inhale to come back up. I think the snow we got yesterday and today was beautiful.
Oh, so
So pretty. Inhale to lift the chest. Of course, I don't have to shovel it or plow it, so I'm all good. Exhale to fold forward over the legs. Bringing your hands to the floor or your blocks. Press into your feet. Lift up through the sit bones. Take the top of your head towards the floor. Now, if you're able to bring your head onto the floor, bend your knees, bring your knees to your elbows, and please bring your feet up off the floor. If your head's not on the floor yet, then don't attempt this. Good. If your feet are still up, please bring them back to the mat. Straighten your arms, look forward, and then bring your hands to your hips and use your legs to come up, not your back. Heel toe your feet together. Come on back to mountain pose. So if you're working with tight hamstrings now, please have your blocks at the front end of your mat, both of them. Have your feet hip distance apart. We're going to come to Parshvottanasana, so bend the knees, stepping straight back with the left foot, and straighten the right leg. Make sure you didn't step behind your right foot. Lift your chest as you inhale. Holding forward over that right leg as you exhale. Bring your hands to the floor or your blocks. And then go ahead and let your right hip drift out to the right. Bring it back to the center. Let it drift over to your left. And then bring it back to the center. Lift strongly up through that right leg. Lengthen your spine. And see if any of that will help you fold a little more deeply into the pose. Good, and then coming part way up. Use the strength of your legs if you can to come the rest of the way up. And then step that left foot forward. Standing evenly on both feet. Let's get ready to go to the other side. Bend your knees, step straight back with the right foot, straightening the left leg. Lift your chest as you inhale. Folding over that leg as you exhale. Bring your hands to the floor or your blocks. Good, and then let that left hip drift out to the left a little. Bring it back in. Let it drift over to the right. Bring it back in. And then strongly lift up through that left leg, lengthen the spine, and see if any of that will help you fold more deeply into the pose. Noticing that one side is always a little different than the other. Just like kids. Kids are different. I said that to one class one time. I was talking about children and how they're different and referring it to yoga, blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, I don't have any kids. And I said, okay, you got any sisters and brothers? Yeah, I got them. All right then, apply. Good, coming part way up, and then the rest of the way up, and step that right foot forward, even standing. Good, we're going to come to chair pose next. Inhale, reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale to bend the knees in your chair pose. I'll bet this is a piece of cake for Allie. Allie's a horsewoman. Well done, up you come. sides. Good, let's come to warrior number 2. Step your feet wide apart. Turn your right leg out. Lift your chest and extend the arms out over the legs. And then go ahead and bend that right knee. Try to line the right knee up with the right ankle. And mind that the outer part of the right knee is tracking the right pinky toe. Gazing out over your right hand. Stay connected to your breath. And let's come to reverse warrior here. Place your left hand on the back of your left leg. Reach the right arm up. Maybe arch back towards the left foot. Good, coming back to warrior 2. And then straighten that leg. Good, let your arms down. Let's go to the other side, turning the right foot forward and the left leg out. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, bend the left knee. Lining the knee up at the ankle. And aligning to the pinky toe. Good, coming to reverse warrior on this side. Inhale. And exhale. Good, and back to warrior 2. And then straighten that left leg. Turning both feet to face the long side of the mat. Let your hands down. We're going to come to Prasarita Padottanasana Part B. All that means is you're going to do the second variation. The hands stay on the hips. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, folding over the legs. Bring your elbows towards one another. And take the top of your head towards the floor. And if you're close to the floor and you can't quite reach the floor, get a block under your head. Good, coming part way up. We're going to place the right hand on the mat in between the feet. And inhale that left arm up toward the ceiling. Try to look up towards your left hand if you can. Good, bring that hand down and switch hands now. Inhaling the right arm up, open the chest, look up towards your hand if you can. Good, bring that hand down. Bring your hands to your hips, use your legs, and come up. Heel toe your feet together. Let's come back to mountain pose. Jimmy, would you do me a favor? Would you go unplug the molecule? Be in mountain pose. Thank you. Good, we're going to come back to chair pose, but we're going to take the twist. So inhale to reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale to bend your knees, join your hands in front of the heart center, and take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Twist twisting to your right. Good, inhale back to the center, and exhale on over to your left. So when you're in any of these spinal twists, you don't want to forget about what your head is doing. The cervical spine is still part of the spine, so you don't want to let your head drop down towards your left shoulder. You want to keep the head in the middle as well as you're able. Good, and then inhale back to the center. Bring your hands to the mat, walk it back to downward facing dog. And then let your knees come to the mat. Back to child's pose. Good, coming back up onto the knees. Meet me back in downward facing dog. And we're going to inhale the right leg way up into the air. And then we're going to lift the left heel off the mat. Your weight's going to come into your hands. So you want to pull your weight out of the hands by reaching up through that right leg more and pressing your armpits back towards your left foot. Once you've done that, see if you can lower the left heel without changing the upper body too much. And then bring that foot down. Let's do the other side. Inhaling the left leg up. Lifting the right heel, bringing weight into the hands. And then pull your weight out of the hands by pulling up through that left leg. Pressing the armpits towards the right foot, and then see if you can lower that right foot. Heel. Sorry. Keep your left leg in the air. We're not done yet. And then bring that foot down. Good job. Bring your knees down. Maybe this time come to child's pose with your arms on the outside of your legs. Good, coming back up onto your knees. And make your way, whatever way is most convenient for you, back up to standing. Coming back to mountain pose. Good, and let's come to revolved triangle. So a block is a good idea in these standing revolved poses. Turn your right leg out. If you're using a block, you want to have your block either in your left hand or on the outside of your right foot ready for you. Inhale that left arm up toward the ceiling. Exhale as you fold towards that right leg. And then bring your hand to the outside of the right foot, twisting to the right. Maybe lift that right arm up toward the ceiling and look up at your hand. If you're going in the opposite direction from me, it's okay. I'm not going to come over there and yell at you. Good, bring your right hand down, make your way up, turn your right foot forward and prepare to go to the other side. So, turning your left leg out. Maybe have your block in your right hand. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding forward. And taking the hand to the outside of the foot as you twist now. Bow to your left. Good, bring your left hand down if it's still up. And make your way up out of the pose. Turning both feet to face the long side of the mat. Prasarita Padottanasana Part C. BC, yes, we're on C. Join your hands behind your back. Interlock your fingers, straighten the arms, lift the chest. Exhale as you fold over the legs. Bringing your arms up over your head if you're able. You can always go back to hands on the mat if that's more appropriate for you. I don't know if you have a shoulder issue going on. Good, coming halfway up. Now, just like we did in Uttanasana, we want to change the cross of the fingers, straighten the arms, and come back into the pose. Well done. Up you come, bring your hands to your hips. Press into your legs to come up and bring your feet back together. Let's come back to mountain pose. Okay, friends, let's take Vrikshasana, the tree pose. Standing on the right foot, bring the left knee up, turn the knee out, and place your foot against your leg somewhere. So you want to have your foot against the thigh, the knee, the shin, or your heel against your shin and your toes on the floor. If your foot happens to be on your knee, please make sure that you're pressing the knee into the foot, not just the foot against the knee. Join your hands if you can in front of the heart center. Find your drishti, your gazing point. And then bring your hands back down through the center and stand on both feet. Even standing, and then let's go to the other side, please. Standing on the left leg, bring the right knee up, turn the knee out, and place your foot against your leg. Joining your hands in front of the heart center. Make sure you lift and open the chest. Standing tall. Find your gazing point. Good, bring your hands down and stand on both feet. Meet me back in mountain pose, please. And then inhale to reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale to swan dive, into forward bend. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, take it back to plank pose. And lower down. Inhaling the chest through and up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Long, deep inhalations. Long, slow exhalations. Good. From here, we're going to move into pigeon pose. So if you need props for pigeon pose, get what you need. Bring them close by, and then come back to downward facing dog. I will wait for you. Good, and then to move into the pose, we're going to bring that right leg way up into the air, bend the knee, bring the knee forward, and bring the right foot as close to the left wrist as you're able, letting both knees down. Walk the left leg back until your right hip comes to the mat or your prop. Good, and then we're going to straighten the right foot and use the left foot, and then we're going to use, the right foot. I get confused, especially on Wednesdays. I have some friends in the studio with me tonight. I have Jim, Libby, and Dan, and they're making fun of me. All right, so rotating that right leg so that the right hip moves towards the short end of the mat. When you've done that as well as you can, please walk your hands back, lift the chest. If this hurts the lower back too much, fold forward a little, see if you can pull out of the waist, and then see if you can lift back up again. If it still bothers your lower back, then just simply come out a little of the pose. Don't force your back to do something it's not ready to do. Again, I would defer to children. I remember the first time I tried to get one of the twins to eat spinach. Oh. Well, just to say that the shirt I was wearing was completely ruined. Good, go ahead and fold now over that leg. Let your head come to rest on the floor or your hands. Good, we're going to press into the hands to come part way up. Tuck the right toes under and lift up, coming back to your downward facing dog pose. And let's do that on the other side. Inhaling the right leg up into the air, bend the knee. On the left leg, whichever leg you didn't do, walk that other leg back. And then straighten the foot, press into the foot, rotate the leg to square the hips off to the short end of the mat as well as you can, and then walk your hands back, lifting the chest. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. And breathe. Good, and then go ahead and fold forward. Once again, bringing your forehead to the floor or your hands. Good, pressing into the hands to come part way up. Chuck the toes under and come back to downward facing dog pose. And then bring your knees to the mat. Good, bring your legs around and have a seat in Dandasana, the staff pose. Stretch your legs out in front, draw the flesh of the buttocks straight back. Press your hands into the mat to lift and open the chest. Good, and then inhale the right arm up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, you're going to come across the body, taking your hand to the outside of the left foot, or the shin, or the knee. You can also use a strap here on your foot, but the idea is to be doing a twist. So we're going to pull a little bit now, twisting to the left, and reach that left arm straight back behind you. Try to line your arm up with your shoulder and the other arm. So it's not down here, it's not up here, it's not way back here. It's in line. Do the best you can, keep breathing. Good, and release. Come back to Dandasana. And let's do that on the other side. Inhale to reach up through the other arm. Exhale as you fold forward, taking your hand to the foot, to the leg, or the knee. Twisting out to the other side, reaching straight back with that arm. Good, and release. Coming back to Dandasana. Good, so now we're going to bend the knees. And again, either hold on to your feet or use a strap. You want to bend your knees enough so that your belly is against your thighs when you fold forward. So if your belly's not against your thighs, you're either really tight or you're too damn skinny. All right, so we're going to move into Paschimottanasana, folded, seated forward bend. But we're going to do it by walking the sit bones back and unfolding the legs slowly. Trying to keep your belly on your thighs. If your belly comes away from your thighs, then you need to stop. That's where you stop. If your knees will still be bent, some of you will have to keep your knees bent in order to do this. Now, rocking back, rock, rock, rock. Stay connected to your breath. You're going to meet some resistance in the hamstrings. Honor that, maybe keeping the knees a little bit soft. One more breath here. Good, and then make your way back up to sitting and relax your legs. All right, let's go for a little boat ride. Bend your knees. Hold on to the knees, lift the chest and lean back. You can stay here if that's what's working for you today. You can release your arms or you can pick your feet up or you can straighten your legs. You decide which variation of the boat pose you're going to do tonight. Now, you can do this variation, and if you get tired, you can always bring your feet down. You're exploring. Good, and bring it in. Good, and once again, please, coming back into the boat. Good, and bring it in. And one more time. Bringing the legs up. And bring it in. Okay, let your feet down, come and lie on your back. Getting ready for bridge pose. We have the feet under the knees, hip distance apart. Arms at your sides, inhale your breath, and exhale. Pressing down into the feet to lift the hips, lower, middle, and upper back off the mat. And then slowly lower back down. Good, and once again, pressing down into the feet to lift the hips, lower, middle, and upper back off the mat. Some of you are able to go into wheel pose from here. If you are able to do that, taking the hands back behind the shoulders, pressing down into the floor to lift up, coming into your wheel pose. I'm not doing wheel pose only because my arm is still sore from my COVID shot vaccine, and I'll be favoring that side.
I'm sweaty.
You're sweaty?
I'm sweating out.
Libby's sweaty. That's good. So if you're just working with wheel pose at the beginning, you don't want to stay too long, go up, come right back down, maybe go up and down a couple of times, maybe just go up once, maybe go back to bridge pose, do whatever it is you have to do. If you have to dry your feet off so they don't slide out from underneath you, you do that. Let's see what everyone's doing. Okay. Use your breath. Nice, Allie. Good job. Come on, Libby, you can do it. Whoa, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. All right. All right, everyone. Make your way down out of whatever back bend you were doing. And then come back to sitting for me, please. We're going to come to Marichiasana number 3. Nice little spinal twist. Bending the right knee. Now, I don't know where everyone is in their practice. I know some of you, but those of you who can take your right foot across the leg without disturbing the sit bones or the spine, then do that. If you disturb the sit bones or the spine, please keep your foot on the inside of your left leg. Hold on to the right knee with the elbow, hand, or elbow on the outside of the knee, depending on where your practice is, and then lift up as you inhale, twisting to your right as you exhale. left knee, maybe taking the foot across. Anchor the knee with the other arm. Take your left hand behind you. Lift your chest as you inhale. Twist to your left now as you exhale. Stay connected to your breath. Good job, everyone. Release the twist. And we're going to either come into a 2-minute headstand, or we're going to do Viparita Karani. So either slide a block under the sacrum and lift your legs up into the air. So I don't have a block handy, but if I had a block, it would go here and the legs would go in the air. If you're able to do headstand, please take headstand. Using a wall if you need one. And if you're still in headstand, very mindfully bring yourself down out of your pose, taking as much care to come out of the pose as you took to get into it. And then take a breath or two in child's pose, please. Good, and then if you're still in child's pose, make your way up out of the pose, and let's everyone please come back to constructed resting pose, lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And then draw your knees into your chest, rocking a little from side to side, or if you prefer, you can come to happy baby. And when you've had enough of that, let your feet come back down and come to Shavasana, the final pose, corpse pose. Extend your legs. Let your feet drop away from each other. Maybe turn your palms up toward the ceiling if that's comfortable for your arms and your wrists. Close down your eyes. Soften your jaw. Release your tongue. And let that space between the eyebrows grow wider and smoother. Let your attention rest on your breath. And now let your next inhalation be just a little deeper. Your next exhalation a little longer. Slowly start to bring some movement back to the fingers and the toes. Bend your knees. And roll all the way over onto your right side. And whenever you feel ready, make your way back up to sitting. Joining your hands once again in front of the heart center. Shivamastu Sarva Jagataha Parahita Nirataha Bhavantu Bhutagana Doshaha Prayantu Nasham Sarvatra Sukhi Bhavatu Lokaha. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thanks for showing up tonight, everyone.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everybody.
Take
Have a
care.
good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.